Hello, my dear ones. Always a great pleasure to spend time with you, always. I know so many of you are doing so well and proved over and over again that proper chemistry, proper physics rule the day. That theories and concepts and hypotheses and things like this can't have them right now, especially in the field of health. There's just so many suffering people and no way out for a lot of them except the doorway of detoxification. Because remember, detoxification is simply the doorway to tissue regeneration. It's a doorway to increase nutrition to the body. It's a doorway for all of this stuff. It's all cool stuff. I want to thank for the shirts, beautiful shirts. I don't know what color to wear. Which color do you think? They're pretty. I know you guys think I need color. That's why I use orange, which is causal. And thank you so much. Thank you. Beautiful card. I don't know whether to mention any names. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. And this is incredible. Nature, let me see here. Health by Nature. Beautiful place. And I'll tell you, this is what it's about. Because you guys know how to help people. You know the secrets of getting people well. We can argue that some of you, there's that art of detoxification coming in, as a lot of you are learning that you have to be artful in your move toward this. And if some of you feel stagnated, come off and take a break or try something else. But I'll say that you'll be back because there's only one real road to pave to Wellville. There's a lot of little adjuncts, but they all have dead ends to them. The art of detoxification is what the future will bring. Those that know how to artfully take someone through some of these mazes of healing crisis. Now, the average person doesn't have a lot of healing crisis, but you guys are dealing in the insane. And the insane is sad stuff. You know, people that have got themselves so locked in from pharmaceutical use, steroid, hormone use, anti-inflammatory use. Most pharmaceuticals are suppressants. And Jesus criminy, when you come off of them, everything kind of explodes. So and look at the antibiotics. And then, of course, the vaccines and the toxins from the vaccines. I mean, there's so much coming to light now. It's just like we went through a period of extreme dark aging where we experimented on animals on all types of levels. The thought of looking at all that is disgusting and something so simplistic. But this is just the whole idea here is to give every one of you a job if you want it. And that is helping others and making yourself a decent little living and helping people get well. I probably stepped in it a little too deep here in terms of iris pictures. Because now I have a bunch of pictures you sent me, and I do want to go over them a little bit, but I can't give you a full report over here because that's how I make a little money. I only work 2 days a week, and so I have to make money somehow, and I do iris analysis for that, and I give you guys a really good deal. Dr. Jensen used to charge $175 for an iris analysis, and that was 10, 15 years ago, and you only got 4 things. And his is real hard to read. I'm right in there. I personally write every one of them and things, so I can give you an overview. But all those people that have paid for iris reports, it's not fair. And when you're living in life, you have to have some funds. Like I've said, I've been in bankruptcy court twice trying to help people, and so I'm not about the money. That's obvious. Anybody who knows me knows that quite well, but I had to have some income. I don't live in the world of Deepak and Dr. Wild and all the rich people like that. I don't live in that world. My hobby is my gardens, as you see. And, of course, we didn't shoot it to be perfect. We just went over there and I said, I think they might like to see where I've been putting a lot of time and energy and things like that. And sure has changed over the years. That was, I can't even tell you how I've lost so many beautiful trees and plants to freeze. I used to have coconut trees all over the place. I can't even tell you the beauty that it used to be, too. So I'm really coming back and trying to do close to zero escape as I can, meaning things that will grow naturally. But that's real tough if you want flowering plants and stuff like that. So, you got all the work there you got to do with that. So I hope you're not too mad at me about the eyes, but I can only do so much with that. But be glad to help in any way possible. The eye is something gorgeous, and so I do have some eyes left over. I'm going to put them up here. We'll go over the eyes, and I'll do one more training on the eyes. That's level 2. It'll be in the DVD. You also get that at level 2, much more hands-on with that. But at the same time, keep these things simple. Now here was, I put this here. This is this was given to me by Jennifer, and it's gymnast. Anyway, this is about varicose veins and spider veins. Let me see here. So what happens to the veins to make them disappear and heal? Well, first of all, why do you see them? What makes varicose veins or spider veins in the first place? You shouldn't see your veins or arteries or anything, should you? Thank God the arteries are a little deeper, but still. What makes you see these? Well, think about this. And we've talked a great deal about this. When you consume proteins, or you smoke, no matter what you smoke, or you consume acids at a high level, this is your consumption. This isn't the lymph system. This is the blood. So initially, when you digest, if you are an absorber and you absorb your nutrition halfway decent, you're absorbing all these proteins and things into the blood. Well, the problem with this is that the blood must maintain a base balance. In other words, the blood's pH must be dominant on the base side over the acid side, or death is within a few minutes. So in order to maintain that pH balance, appropriate balance under the type of sky that people are eating, calcium is the most sought after mineral in the body when this happens, and particularly in the blood. Cholesterol can't come to that aid. So there is some stealing of calcium out of the connective tissue of the vascular wall. When that happens, you start getting herniation leading to aneurysms. And when you start seeing herniations, you start seeing just what you see, spider veins, and then, of course, the pocketed varicose. And this is all parathyroid weakness. Now, it's under the acid sky, but as a rule, you can fix those pretty easy if you knew about them right off. But to tell you, if you've got them pretty good, then you got to go after your parathyroid. Then you'll start utilizing calcium. You're changing your diet. You're getting away from the protein draws, the nitrogen draws. So now you're into the carbon side of chemistry, the base side of chemistry, and you don't have the calcium draw. By using the parathyroid with the Bones formula, you'll pull those right in. Matter of fact, Jennifer Willett, one of the main trustees, her mom had them so bad. She was a chronic smoker, and her diet sucked big time, but she had varicose veins all over the place, and spider veins. And so we couldn't believe this, but we hit her hard with the parathyroid and Bones formula. She ended up with lung cancer from all of this. And within a week, 2 weeks, they're gone. Now, I've never seen spider veins or varicose veins gone that fast like that. I've just never seen that, which attributed probably to her strong constitution. You know, when you have strong genes. And when we do the eyes again, I'm going to show you again one more training here on the difference between how you identify weaknesses within the fibers of the eye and what makes for a strong constitution, you know. And easy to determine that in the eye. But it is the strengthening of connective tissue that also pulls herniations in. If you have a hernia, you want to go after connective tissue. What else? How about mitral valve prolapses, heart murmurs? That's a good one. Parathyroid. Anytime you see a valve, a vein, or any tissue that's herniating, not good. You can go to the connective tissue. Now, it's true that we have genetic weaknesses in places, and you might not have a parathyroid weakness and still have a herniation from just an acid lifestyle and a weakness genetically, and just see this thing getting weaker through the years. And then pressure, and boom. But if you want to strengthen something like that up, go right to the parathyroid. It doesn't take, spend a couple of bottles on parathyroid, say 1-3 times a day, and take the bones for them to say 2-3 times a day, and boy, we strengthen everything up with that. What else would you think about that? How about sagging breasts? Wrinkled skin, same thing, prolapsus. You notice that with a smoker, where you see the wrinkled skin. Why? They're losing calcium. So the connective tissue starts failing, and they wrinkle, they prolapse. Things like this. And so very common stuff now today. So that's where you would want to work on the parathyroid and strengthen this up, because this, Jim, this only leads to aneurysms. And I particularly like to protect my people from aneurysms. I mean, it's not a bad way to die, I guess, but I've told you stories about that in the ER. So I definitely would want to protect myself if you have them. Now, another thing that's helpful is the flavonoids in fruits and berries and melons, particularly fruits and berries. The flavonoids are very powerful in strengthening connective tissue in the vascular wall, so it's good stuff. Now, this is a resubmission. God, I'm so sorry, but that's all I'm doing the best I can. Dr. Morse, I love you too. Thank you, sweetheart. I was searching for a rosacea cure when I came upon one of your YouTube videos, and my entire world lit up. Oh, thanks. What a gift you are. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate that, because that's nice. Because when I read this next one to you, it's from not nice people, and this is what we get here, But I love you too, honey. I have several issues going on, including rosacea and ovarian cysts. So here's the thing. I had rosacea bad for years. You can help us a little by doing hot and cold compresses and scrub your skin. If you pig it, you're going to see white stuff come out here and there. This is all the lymph. And remember, they just found the new lymph system that channels into the sinuses. How interesting is that? Definitely an issue with lymphatics. Rosacea is a big one. And of course, knowing now that the lymph system actually dumps into the sinuses up there, or at least pulls from it, interesting, because I think this is another way of expectoration. And of course, the skin is a big form of elimination. Remember, your skin is an eliminative organ. So when you see something involved with the skin, and knowing it's an eliminative organ, then what are you eliminating that could make it look so bad? And of course, the key word is always going to be acids. There's always going to be acids. And so that gives you the rosacea. But this is also tied to what? The ovarian cysts. Now, what system is the ovarian cysts involved in? There you go. You only have two systems, and their cysts are not blood problems. Again, lymphatic problems goes back to the kidneys and adrenal glands. So this is right off of where you're dealing with. You want to fix this, sweetheart, or they like to do hysterectomies and stuff. And of course, with the ovarian cysts, then you got to worry about vaginal wall problems, atypical cells, and of course, uterine endometriosis or fibroids, blah, 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 blah. I mean, of course, this is systemic because you're already involved up here with it. So the same system that creates the ovarian cyst creates the rosacea. I'm on week 2 of your detox program, and my skin is better. Yeah, not everybody explodes like some do. Some people that are so toxic, and they go on these detoxes and they explode. We're trying to work that where we have less lymphatics, more kidneys at first to keep them from exploding too much. But when the body wants to let go, hell or high water, the body's going to let go. And very little. This is where the art comes in, of either stepping back a little bit or putting the pedal a little more to the metal. Oh, she's filtering, so that's cool stuff. Oh, man, that's cool stuff. I've been a vegetarian for 30 years. Proud of you, honey. With the first 10, a vegan. Good job. But for the first time, I have taken grains, beans out of my diet. Thank God. Get rid of those worthless crap stuff. Beans, horrible. Just sulfur, crampy, bad stuff. Too much protein. Unless you sprout something and make it into a living plant, you've got dormant food. Of course, with dormant food comes enzyme inhibitors, comes high phytic acids, and this is true with all this stuff. And so, and then the grains, you're into starch, and you're into too much carbon, so, it's just all of this stuff, so you're doing good. I became a vegetarian because of conscious ethical reasons. I never knew for sure it was healthier, but I didn't care because it always felt wrong for me to eat animals. I know exactly what you mean. So that tells me immediately that you're a spiritual one, dear one. And I love you guys coming in here. This is what this world needs, is you higher souls coming in here. And hopefully you'll take this in places so much greater than what we can. I originally spent 1 week on 3 different rosacea drugs, and it was hell. No. See, you can't, the funny thing is you can't put anything topically on this because that adds to the congestion that's underneath. This just adds to it. If you're going to put something on it, get grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is extremely nutritive, and this will be a nutritive oil that will help neutralize acids. But I wouldn't put their crap on there at all, because what you're doing is just adding to what you're trying to get, what it's trying to get out. You can't. It's nothing you can treat or suppress. Notice that? Most of you, a lot of you particularly, that have been on antibiotics for inflammation and all things, realize this is something you cannot suppress. You must allow your body to eliminate, and you must fix this problem. Understanding the body a little bit is very, very helpful. I threw the drugs out. I would too. For the past 3 years, I have been on synthroids. See, so it's already in your throat as well. The same lymph system is all through you. So you're seeing different parts of your body going down a little bit with that. So with the synthroid, now the thing is, you don't do glandulars if you're not into the animals. So I would do the thyroid formula and just watch my basal temperatures. And as you bring that up, and as you clean the mucus out of your thyroid and out of your skin here and everything else, this will clear up, the thyroid will kick up. But make sure it's the thyroid that's doing this, and it's not your pituitary gland. Look at your height, look at your eyes, look at your monthly cycles. If they're irregular, honey, or you're bleeding too much, that's the pituitary in most cases. Of course, the pituitary controls the thyroid with what? TSH. Thyroid stimulating hormone, and that's produced by the pituitary gland. She's on a very low dose, but she's also on bioidentical progesterone, and this is where you need to change your thinking, because by taking this progesterone, oh, look at this, testosterone and estrogen at levels according to my blood work. These are medical doctors. We had a couple at a class, and and they're definitely wanting to help in a better way, but you don't help by giving hormones and steroids. That is a no-brainer. You're going to get yourself worse and worse and worse. You can't do that. You'll lose your adrenals even more. So bioidenticals, it doesn't matter what they call them. That's just a fancy word for saying, well, we're going to try to figure out the the level of estrogen, excuse me, testosterone or progesterone or whatever you need. No. Smarter is you make the gland healthy. If you had to, it would be far better for you to bite the bullet and take a glandular for a short period of time than to take bioidentical steroids, because this is where you're going to get yourself in big trouble, because they only serve to weaken the adrenal glands. And when you take these steroids, progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen, your body's going to quit making them, honey, and then you're in the trouble. So you can't do that. You can't play these kind of games medically, because you'll hurt yourself as a female. Susan Summers fan. Yeah, well, you can't do the bioidentical steroids. That's medical thinking, and it's not appropriate thinking. If you're going to, like I said, if you're low in these, or you got to fix the gland, because you got to fix the adrenals anyway to get rid of the rosacea, to get rid of the thyroid issue, to get rid of all the other lymphatic issues. You got to fix the adrenal glands anyway. And by taking bioidentical steroids, you don't fix nothing. And it's well known, you take it, your body quits making it. And that's not what you want. That's why I've said this many times, medical doctors, you guys need to get into the glandulars. They're so much smarter. And you can do a lot of things with them, especially real powerful ones, pure ones. The hormones have really helped with my perimenopausal symptoms. Okay, so here's the thing, honey. I'm worried about your pituitary and stuff. So really you want to go after the health of your glands as opposed to trying to play the game of make up what they don't produce, because what happens is they stop producing even more. They don't do any better. As one medical doctor said, they'll go to sleep for a while. As one medical doctor told a client of ours, they'll go to sleep for a while. But where he was wrong is they'll wake up and be stronger. No, they won't. No, they won't. And that was a bald-faced lie. They go to sleep for a while, no question. In other words, see you later, alligator. And when you stop them, you might as well have someone hit you upside the head with a 2-by-4, because you're not going to be happy, honey. Now, especially dry, painful sex and low libido. Okay, so here's the thing. If you have, and this is for you ladies out there, if you have vaginal dryness or painful intercourse, you want to watch this one. This is low estrogen. But this is adrenal estrogen. This isn't ovarian estrogen. And I'm amazed, because what this means is that you also have weakened ovaries as well. So, my thought is simple. Black cohosh is an estrogenic herb. And I only use it in these cases because most women have too much estrogen. But this is a sign of very low estrogen. So I would take about a half a dropper full or a dropper full with the rest of my herbs 3 times a day, at least for a bottle or 2. But to be honest with you, I'd also work on my female reproductive. I'd check my pituitary out, because that could be shutting down my ovaries and my adrenals and my thyroid. So you want to take a look at your pituitary, dear one, and get that on. Once you get the glands cooking, your libido will come back. But you're very low in your acid steroids, which isn't a stimulator of these things. But by taking that, your symptoms will feel better for a short period of time, and then you'll go back, but even worse. So not a smart way to do this. I am sleeping better, etc., etc. But, and that's where I say, but, after hearing you, I'm concerned that they are hurting me. Absolutely. This is something I've had a lot of experience with. Matter of fact, most of us counselors have. Matter of fact, any practitioner of the art out there that's ever worked with hormones or steroids knows this factually. I mean, our bodies stop making them right. Our bodies become so acidic and full of mucus that it suppresses the function of these glands. Not that the glands don't want to make them. On top of that rises the genetics. So we got 2 things hitting our tissues real bad in the humans. And that is cell weaknesses like crazy, genetics. And then the fluids are a mess, especially the lymphatic fluids. They're a mess in humans. And of course, this deals with the acids. This is your sewer system. And there's nothing great about this. Pain, inflammation, all the things that most people are experiencing mutation, that's under the acid sky. You know, health is a base balance, a predominant base balance diet. Don't be confused. You know, being confused, you're just going to different practitioners hearing different stories. And medical practitioners don't cure anything. So it's time people back away from them seeking health. If you're seeking health, you don't go to medical doctors. Those are for people that have serious problems like car accidents, you have the ER, and you have surgeries. But general practitioners, they play in the world of dreams and illusions. They play in the world of diseases and things like this. And although one might think this is simplistic, let me tell you, you can do a lot of studying in that world, and pretty soon you realize it's all an illusion. I'm 51 years old and just beginning menopause. Not quite there yet. Now check that out. You can check your pituitary out. Get your adrenals healthy. Get your ovaries, get your body healthy. That is the simplest and best focus you can have, because then it keeps you away from falling off the side with things like bioidentical steroids. Hate to admit the ignorance. No. This is just what's out there. And you can't help it because you hear one thing, and we like to trust. There's no question, especially the God people. I believe everything I'm told at first. No, not so much maybe. But at first, I'm pretty naive that way. I believe what you tell me. Whew, that's good. But I've been laser vein treatments on my legs along with sclerotherapy. Oh, sweetheart, listen. You know what? That sounds like your parathyroid's down too. It's interesting how some of these come together. Remember, when we start reading them, some of them kind of flow together. You might want to take a look at that pituitary, dear one. I got a sneaky feeling we got something going here, because it sounds like your parathyroid is also down a little bit. You want to build things up. Be careful with laser. We've got some people right now in with Marcy that's the face was destroyed with laser surgery. And for some it works, but you have to understand that if you've got a skin ring around your eye, you've got weak skin, and skin is cells. Remember, all tissues are cells. So, to take an acid treatment and destroy the cells will scar. So, unless you're healthier, and we've got some scarred up ladies from doing laser on the face. But you don't need to do laser, you need to strengthen. See, they don't know anything how to strengthen or rebuild or anything like that. So it's treatment, laser, and all this other stuff. And when you get it, it's bizarre as hell. It's a bizarre world. That's all I can say. And we buy into it right and left, but take a look around what's going on in our world. We are losing our children so fast, it's not even funny. We're losing our loved ones. Cancer, we'll use that word, is in every other person. So you got to realize how bad we're off, and what have we been following worldwide? Medical, in their thinking, in their dietary recommendations, and all of that. Everybody's been following that. And take a look at where we are. Take a look at the death rate from allopathic procedures. All right, you're millions and millions worldwide. You're 1.5 million at least in the States, if not 2. People die a year under their treatment. What? What? Nobody dies under naturopathic treatment. Nobody dies under homeopathic treatment unless you're stage 4 and you're at your advanced last days and we're trying. That's not the same thing. So there's a big world of difference. So most of you beautiful guys, you know how to heal properly. And never feel that there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. You are learning an art that should be everywhere, because it's just the way nature is. It's the book of nature. When you come here, you should get a book on detoxification and the food to eat, since man seems to have lost his intuitiveness. Don't know the long-term effects of that. Never dawned on me that maybe my blood could fix itself of those horrible veins. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Okay, you're telling me right there, sweetheart. Here's one that goes right with the guy before. Parathyroid. So that means you got parathyroid, you got thyroid, you got adrenals because you're very dry and painful there. So, oh yeah, my guess is you've got the pituitary down too. Take a look at your height. If your menses can be regular and still have pituitary problems, but generally it's off a little. Oh yeah, you've got to fix this stuff up. I have bad teeth. See what I'm saying? Your lymph system is involved all over, honey. You got to get it moving. and get on your parathyroid, use some glandulars and get on your parathyroid, you might want me to write you a 14-week protocol or something. I mean, that's up to you if you can afford it, but you need to fix some things here. You want to get this parathyroid at 51 years old, because that's your bones, that's your connective tissue, that's your happiness, that's your nerve transmission, that anti-inflammatory. I mean, we can just probably keep on going. So really, 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 you've got to fix your teeth. Bad genes and diet growing up, plus my childhood. Dennis was a butcher, so was mine. Most teeth are crowned. Many have root canals. No issues right now, but I feel the teeth may always help. Yeah, just start working on cat. Just start working on yourself, honey. Just start going into the kidneys. Get yourself on a program. We offer 3 different types of programs in the club. Or if you're doing it on your own, hit the kidneys and adrenals, hit the lymph system, clean up the bowels. Follow that protocol. If you want to grab something else, you want to grab a parathyroid. But at this point, I know you're vegetarian, but I'm telling you, you're taking bioidentical steroids, which has a not so good effect on you. I would probably bite the bullet and do a glandular for a few months and fix these glands and get them up and going. You got to get your kidneys filtering, and I do take it you do see some. So it sounds like you could fix this up quicker than later. The whole big deal is filtration. Interesting stuff. Here's one from Kay Ritter. He says, or she, either one, says, what a quack. Doesn't know a single thing he talks about. Stop asking him questions he can't answer properly. Now, I suppose that was directed at me. So, you get people like that. And some of you got practitioners will have the same. These people are not very evolved. They just, they're lost. They could be in the medical field, something like that. They don't like us to rain on their parades. The trouble is, there's no more time on the planet, guys, to play Mr. Nice Guy all the time. We are in serious trouble. And you have to know, most of you have no further to look than yourselves. Some of you are suffering so bad. And people like this, they have no clue. The sad thing about people like this, and you don't know who this is, but these people generally don't have any clue how others are suffering and how they've been to all the other modalities and gotten worse. So you get yay-hos like this that just, they got their heads buried so deep. They'll be the ones suffering, and maybe a lifetime or two down the road they'll wake up, who knows. But you'll always find those out there. I've been called quack quite a bit through the years. Yeah. And the medical doctors have a nice little cartoon they drew up to show that only them are not quacks. The whole idiocy of the whole thing. And it's a problem with people like this is why this world is the way it is. So we have to bring in the light, because these people channel the darkness. We want to channel the light and the love of God. Let them think whatever they want. They're the ones who are going to suffer. We're not suffering. We know the truth. And that's important, that you keep that truth, because you're the one here to give it out. And you step forward and take your rightful place in doing that. Don't ever be intimidated by anybody, particularly medical doctors. I hope by now you get a real good sense of what's going on in that field. So just because they wear nice clean coats and they've been to Harvard for 5, 6, 7 years, they're killers. And the oncologists are the #1 killers, big time. And if you don't believe that, start studying and take a look around. See, a lot of people don't see what we see. You don't hear the cases from the parents and the crying and what's going on with the kids. You don't hear all of that. Now, we do. And it's a shithouse mess. So I feel sorry for people that have attitudes like that can't get out of their own way, that's lost in space, I just feel sorry for that. But, here's Nigel. Nigel? 2 videos on the subject, but no specific advice on how to cure excess mucus other than eat a lot of fruit. Well, this mucus, my friend, is all in you. That's what comes from the mucosa, of course. And how do you get it out? Well, that's how you get it out. You can use herbs and fruit. You probably can get some out with some green drinks in the first few months maybe of a detox, but you want some serious detox. You want to get up into the water fasting or into the fruit fasting. I like the fruit fasting for a while before you get too far into water fasting. I think it's a better way to go. But that all pulls mucus. It astringes and it hydrates. Well, when that happens, it starts to loosen up this mucus, and now but mucus is formed, this is from the lymph system and from the mucosa. And mucus is formed when you have, proteins and dairy products and things like this the body doesn't want. So if you get that, then you have to get the other thing is you have to detox it out, man. That's what we've been talking about for all these years. You have to detox it out. And if you have excess mucus like this, then you've got a whole bunch more coming. And I mean a whole bunch more. If you already feel that, your cup is full. Your cup is full. And the only way to pull mucus out of the body is hydrate and astringents. Just what we've been talking about. You can't pull mucus out of the body with proteins. That's what causes mucus. So how you pull mucus out of the body is the body discharges it itself, but you have to hydrate and alkalize. That's how you hydrate. And of course, by loosening up all of this, because acids dehydrate, and you have so much mucus now that it's coming out wherever holes is coming out, that means you're loaded. And you just got a lot to come out. Don't be surprised if you get buckets out of the sinuses. That's what you want. With that understanding, realize what people have going on inside of them with all this mucus wedged in the sinuses, in the brain, in the lungs, in the thyroid, in the parathyroid. You see where I'm going? In the voice box, in the bronchioles, in the bowels, in the bowel walls. This stuff's all through us. That's why you see this mucus in the stools and the mucus in the urine. So this, my friend, that's all I've been talking about, is how you get this out. Detox is how you get rid of mucus. But you also stop eating the foods that's mucus forming. Look at Arnold Laird. He wrote several books on the mucus diet healing system, all talking about mucus. How did he get rid of it? He put you on a fruit fast. The natural hygienic movements, how do they get rid of mucus? They put you on a water fast. Now, that's just the way it is universally. And mucus is the universal crap that comes out. And stones and stuff like this, that sort of thing. But the more you eat foods that are less raw, the more that mucus is going to stay in you. And it's possible that you get some irritation in there with acids, you could hyperproduce mucus. So the only real solution is always the same. Detoxification. I haven't found one case where detoxification wasn't the key component in getting the person well. Because what it means, detoxification is done by your body. Your body does it. We're just changing your diet to foods that your body is designed to eat. I was watching this Naked and Afraid. I think that's what's Naked and Alive, Naked and Afraid, something like that. And this girl last night, they were some island or somewhere, and she had mangoes and fruit. Well, it had this guy who looked like from New York or New Jersey. He had that atmosphere, that kind of slang talk, and he was a rough and tough kind of guy. But in the end, he ended up being a good dude. They made it, but she taught him a lot about you don't have to have meat. And they get out there, I got to have protein. I got to have protein. She did extremely well with no protein. She had the mangoes, other forms of fruit and stuff. She walked out feeling good. I love that. And others, it's here. Mind over matter. Mind controls all of your bodies. All of them. Mind, energy, thought, consciousness controls chemistry. So you see everything in chemistry is controlled by thought, energy. It's made up of that. Now remember, send back to Gen B. Okay, name, Myla. Subject, general health inquiry. I need help now. I have had bronchitis a few times this winter and last year. And with it, I got asthma. I have never had it before, but it is bad. It is almost debilitating. I have no strength to even walk to the bathroom. Oh, poor honey. Okay, so do you know what system's involved with that? I don't have enough strength to go to the bathroom. What system in your body delivers the strength to walk to the bathroom? Your nervous system. And you've got two nervous systems, right? Central and autonomic. Autonomic worker bee. So this is the autonomic that's down. Now, where do you get the neurotransmitters for the autonomic nervous system? The adrenal glands. So look at this. Now you've had bronchitis. You're full of mucus. And just going through a little bronchitis, most people stop it. Most people try to stop it with herbs even, or antibiotics. You'll go through it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. But this time it could be lung cancer. Okay? Why? Because you've never allowed your body to get rid of the mucus. The same thing the land before you just asked me. You got to get this mucus out of your body. It's in the bronchioles, it's in the thyroid, it's in the voice box, it's all through you. And that's why you see mucus in the urine, mucus in the stools, mucus out the nose, mucus in the ears, mucus out the vaginal, mucus out the belly button, and mucus out the mouth. Dandruff. Same stuff. Same stuff. Just dry. Same stuff. Flaky. Sometimes the same stuff. Mucus, mucus, mucus. But it is your lymph system. And it's your protection. It's the lifestyle, the food you're eating that makes this happen. Can't blame your body. It's just doing the natural response mechanism to things you're bringing in it doesn't want. It's that simple. That simple. So then we have cold and flus, and we want to blame nature, and we want to blame bacteria, and we do the blame game. Couldn't be what we're eating. And medical doctors have had years and years to learn, but they choose not to. They choose to call us quacks and everything else. Okay, call us what you want, but we know about foods and you don't. And the big issue is there are a lot of foods that your body is not designed to eat that's mucus forming. And they generally come in the form of proteins. Sorry, just the way it is. And there's been health professionals that have written about mucus and written about this for 100 years. So, you have to go through the bronchitis. And this time you go through it. You don't grab anything. You don't take anything. You're going to go through it and allow yourself to go through it, or it's going to get deeper and deeper. Just like now, you're starting into COPD. Now, notice how you feel tired? Well, there is a component, we've talked about this a lot, there's a component to COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, whatever. Asthma is the beginning stages of that. What's the main component of these type of problems? Your autonomic nervous system. Your nervous system. That's why you feel tired. You can't take a deep breath. This is down. And that's your adrenal glands. Me, myself, and I'm going to put myself on 400 milligrams of adrenal glandular, say 1-3 times a day. I'm going to go on a couple of kidney formulas. I'm going on a lymphatic formula. I think I'll take a lungs too. And you know what? I think I'll also drink some 3-lung tea. Get all this mucus out of me. See where I'm going? Clean up your GI tract too. And all this will clean up. You'll never have bronchitis again. But you're probably going to go through it one more time. Don't stop it. Let your body clean itself. Don't freak out. People don't die with these things. Nobody dies with pneumonia detoxing. If they do, I can't imagine. But you can die treating it. A lot of people die from pneumonia. No, they don't. They die from the treatment of pneumonia. Fox News said that one time where a lady analyst was talking about a friend of hers that died from pneumonia, and she looked at the camera and she said, he died from the treatment of it. Smart lady. Smart lady. Your body gets full of mucus. It's got to come out somehow, and it isn't pleasant. That's why sometimes when you look at the food that gives it to you, ice creams, milks, and things, you're going, Is it worth it? I have no strength to even walk to the bathroom. You've got to get on those adrenals and get on them now. Please help me now. I need immediate help. I do not want to go to my GP again and get more antibiotics. No, you just put yourself more in hellville. See, and that's what's been doing. You've been suppressing bronchitis. You've got to live through it. If you don't live through it, you'll have it forever. You'll have it forever. But the problem is this mucus dries, kills cells after a while because it surrounds the cell to where its cell then cannot no longer discharge its waste. It auto-intoxicates and then mutates because it's all about acids. And if you don't allow the cell to get rid of its acids, then the acids just start chewing on the cell itself. Easy to understand, but us quacks couldn't understand it at that level, could we? Oh, no. The smart people, the ones that don't understand it, well, I don't know, they treat it, irregardless. They only work for a little while, 3 or 4 weeks, and it comes back, and that's the point. But the problem is, sweetheart, when you do this, you make it worse on yourself. See how you're getting worse each time? And now it's asthma with it. It just keeps getting worse. Nothing ever stays the same. You might think it is. You're either getting worse or better. Period. Nothing just is static in the universe. Nothing just stays in the same place ever. That never happens. Not so much the bronchitis, but the asthma. No. This is all tied to the same thing. You got to get the congestion out of the lungs and bronchi, but you also have to fix your autonomic nervous system, which is the adrenal glands. So, but this is also some key to some of this could be lymphatic, not just the mucus from your foods, but also the lymph system from weak kidneys and adrenals. No sleep, no strength, and using inhaler too much. Yeah, okay. I also would be using an herbal antispasmodic, which I would use instead of inhaler, my personal self, because inhalers are cancer-causing because they lock all the sputum in. And you don't want to lock sputum in. You want to enhance the nervous system so you can breathe, and at the same time not stop expectoration. Only herbal antispasmodics do that, so I would use an herbal antispasmodic on a regular dosage just like all the others, but I'd go after my adrenal glands, I'd go after my kidneys, I'd go after my lymph system, I'd go after my bowels, after cleaning the lungs out. That's how you do it. And you'll be done. You'll be done, you'll have your life, you'll never have the breathing problems, you never have to worry about lung or bronchial cancers. Because you've gotten rid of that which causes all these things. See? So it's all good stuff. And we'll get this up here tomorrow. Won't be today. Today's Monday. So I won't be able to have it up till tomorrow for you. I don't have a phone number to call you. But you'll be okay. But stop treating it. Treatment is the worst thing you can do because there's no cure to the world of treatment. Let me see here. Message. Let's see. I would like to know if Dr. Morse has previous experience with treating patients with autism. Well, I don't treat diseases, so I'll just put it in that way. But we've had a ton of autism, ADD, ADHD, and all these type of problems in here. My son, 15 years old, Miguel, and myself. Oh, and yourself, huh? I wonder if he could help me deal better with some issues my son is going through, like high cholesterol due to his dad's family inheritance. This is a problem. And some other weight due to medicines he is taking. Aggressive behaviors and starting in puberty. Ooh. I would like to know if there is any financial aid to do this and go see Dr. Morse. I am a single mom, no child support. Well, this is where you talk to Jen W., who you sent this to, Jennifer Willett. You want to send that to her, and she'll take care of you there. There's just some paperwork you have to fill out and stuff like that. But we'll see. You know, we definitely do everything we can to help, every single thing we can. So, you know, but here's the thing. First of all, you know there's a neurological component to this, obvious. And we've traced this. I don't care what they say. You get a room of 100 parents with children with autism and ADD and ADHD and seizures. And I can tell you, Most of them will tell you it started right after the vaccination of the baby. When you've got a society that doesn't give a care about that, and you have these money mongrels like pharmaceutical companies that doesn't give a shit about the kids like that, we've got a problem. They are now a threat to the national security of this country. Pharmaceutical companies, in my opinion, are a threat to the national security of our country. They're killing people so fast. It is unbelievable. They're a threat to our future and our children. They're a threat in every way. It sounds harsh, but you got to understand what's going on out here. It's a mess. It's a mess. Now, first thing I'm going to do with a child like this is upper circ and brain and nerve. Those are the first two things I'm going to do, is upper circulation and brain and nerve. I also know that I have to detox this child, that I have to detox these neurotoxins out. And neurotoxins aren't always fun to come out. I also know that, neurologically speaking, fruits, berries, and melons are the tops. Unfortunately, the kid's 15. So I also know that you got a child here that at 15 years old, going on a diet, appropriate diet for his problem might be a stretch. Depends how bad it is. And then you've got a child that is so eaten up acidically that they're just so hyperactive. It's hard to get them to do these things. So I don't know what to tell you other than, number one, diet is real key. Two, I'd stay away from all proteins, dairy products, and anything like that can acidify and congest the human body. I'd put him on whatever I could get him on, up toward steamed vegetables, salads, green drinks, and of course fruits, berries, and melons. Maybe with the youngsters, they like the fruits and the berries and the melons more, so I'd try to excite them about that. Definitely wouldn't want to pack his lunch, that sort of thing, and I'd get on the herbs. I'd get on the herbs because at 15, I can tell you right now, that you're into adrenals, you're into kidneys, you're already probably into myelin sheath weakness. So you want to start thinking about strengthening your boys and your myelin sheath. And if you have it as well, wow. I think we just had a little tornado go by. It looked like it. Everything was blowing sideways. So it looked like we had a little tornado out there. I don't know what to tell you in terms of medicines and things like this, because there is no cure for anything allopathically. And these pharmaceuticals are only threatening the health of people. Very rarely do you really need a pharmaceutical to stay alive. Very rarely. And if you do, okay. But then while you're doing that, there's so many things you can do to regenerate and heal. But I've never seen anything that we can't help, or the herbal side of life can't help, over a pharmaceutical any day. Haven't seen that. So diet is a key factor in this, and of course going after the nervous system. Detoxification is essential because most of these are neurotoxic cases, on top of neural weaknesses. So I see two problems that we always address. The kidneys and adrenals and the lymph system, of course. We're addressing the adrenals because not only of its control of the kidneys, because of its neurotransmitters. We need neurotransmitters to help us rebuild myelin sheaths, increase neurotransmission. This is another case where I use not only brain and nerve number 2 and upper circ, but I also like to use the antispasmodic because it'll settle them down a little bit. And I'd use herbs to kind of settle them down a little bit. At the same time, you're getting up in here with oxygenated blood, herbs that enhance neurons. So the healthier the child, the more relaxed the child. The more acidic the child, the more hyperactive the child. Or ourselves. So it's real important to look at that. But you need help. We'll see what we can do. Contact Jennifer about this, and I'll make sure she gets this. She's created an account for you already. She's probably working on you already. Now, this is Annie here. She said, does Dr. Morse have a protocol for treating multiple system atrophy, MSA? It's a neurodegenerative disease that leads to death. Okay, so let's back up a minute. just from that and realize, let's talk in what we really got involved. Because all of these things like this, you have to realize that your body is simply made. Complex, but simply made. And so you've got cells, and you have the two fluids that take care of them. So you have your tissues, your organs and glands, then you have all your pipes, and two of them which deal with blood flows, nutritive flows, sewer system flows. Then you have your nervous systems, your myelin sheaths. You got all these things. So when you see multiple problems in the body with the cells, you have two things to think about, and only two things, in my opinion, to think about. First, the genetic weakness within the cell itself. And second, the condition of the fluids that take care of those cells. So when you have a multi-system atrophy, or you see multiple systems going down in your body, you can stick whatever name you want on it. But the bottom line, it's vital that you understand that your lymph system is in trouble, that you're backed up lymphatically everywhere, you have inflammation everywhere, and you're getting atrophy. The only sky, really, that you get atrophy under is the acid sky. And acids are cell wastes. There's acids in foods, but generally within that nice narrow margin. Cell wastes, though, are 3 pH, around 3 pH. Pretty hot. So to get multiple system failures, whether it's nerve, muscle, bone, it doesn't matter. What system in your body could affect all these different systems? You've got three. One of them is a system into itself that needs the other two, and that's the nervous system. So we can safely set that to the side. Keeping in mind, you can have genetic weaknesses anywhere in the cells. But you've got two fluids that get their pHs and get their chemistry by what? Your livelihood, your ingestion. What you eat, drink, breathe, what you put on your skin. So, when you start to see multi-systems going down, you have to find what's a connecting link. Well, there's only two connecting links, blood and lymph. For blood to make that happen, impossible. You're long dead before that can happen. That only leaves one system that you can sit on, and you're appropriately sitting on it because it deals with the acid side. You're home, the lymphatic system. And that's the system that you're dealing in. And you don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to have visions of lollipops and sugar things and all this stuff, because there isn't none. The body is simplistic to understand, and understand it because they don't. So they attach this multi-system atrophy or failure. What's a connective link to all systems in the human body? Blood and lymph. Because all systems deal with organs and glands, and those are the cells. Except the lymph is a system unto itself, but this is fluid-based systems. But when you have multiple decay of tissue, you've got lymph system big time in trouble. And this is serious stuff, my dear. The average lifespan is 78 years. I'm 2.5 years into it, and I'm still degrading. Yeah, because you're way too acidic. How do you stop this? How do you stop degrading? And I don't care what you're diagnosed with. I don't care what mutation it's caused you or what. You can stop these things in their track by what? You have to first stop your ingestion of the incurables. The foods that are causing these problems, or at least leading to it indirectly, like high-protein diets damaging kidneys and bladders, therefore backing up the lymph system. But these high-protein diets do so much more harm in the vascular system. We just talked about spider veins and varicose veins. You can get into all kinds of trouble with that. From vascular collapses to vascular spasms. This all yields strokes, heart attacks, things like this. But us quacks wouldn't know about any of these things. The smart guys do, and therefore they can fix you right up. Right. I love people like that. You've got to stop this, dear one, and the best way to stop this is immediately start changing your diet to 100% raw. Get your adrenals up, get your kidneys up. Start getting neurotransmitters, turning on your electrical systems. Get your kidneys filtering. Get your bowels cleaned out so you stop absorbing toxins and acids and stuff. Get everything cleaned out and start moving that lymph. All this inflammation will come away, and the atrophy of cells will regenerate. But you can't regenerate your body in a decay focus, and that's an acid focus. Get out of that acid focus, and you'll be good. Your whole body will turn itself around. You'll stop this. That's the only way to stop it. There's nothing out there. You can take steroids, you can take all antacids of every level, and most of them kill you. Most of these anti-inflammatories, look at Imbro, look at a lot of these anti-inflammatories, high fatal events. Why? They're suppressants. They're suppressants, and they suppress the adrenal glands. It is very difficult for me to walk with a walker because of very poor balance. See, and you're right back here. You're loaded. And this is another problem, decaying in the cerebellum. So I would definitely have upper circ, brain and nerve, kidneys, 2 kidneys, adrenal gland glandulars. I'd have stomach and bowels, cleaning out my bowels. I'm really going to go after this. I'm going to go after this really aggressively because I'm wasting. And I need to fix this. I need to fix absorption because the chances of you having good absorption is nil, next to none. So you see this goes on and on and on. There's probably starvation involved in your case and everything else. When I use a walker, I use it 100% of the time. In addition, when I go outside, I typically use the scooter. My speech is very slurred. You want to stop this now. N-O-W. You might want to have one of us work with you, but regardless, I'm going upper circ, brain and nerve. I'm going on the 12-week program if I can afford it, but you can't afford not to afford it. There's certain things that you have to in your lives, guys, put as priorities. And that is your health. When you're wasting away like this, you got to stop this. Because this is nothing good. You already know this. You're trying to find out how. Well, the rest of the world doesn't seem to know how, and it's like, really? How simple is this? It's so simple that people like to call us quacks because it's too simple for them to chew on. They got to have some food, intellectual food that makes them get lost even more. I don't like any of this. Upper circ, brain and nerve, I'm going to really go. And then as you get down the road, ultimate immune, that's where your velvet antlers and your Panax type ginsengs come in, especially with a female, maybe Don Quai, come in and start strengthening tissue. And you might want to do some of these, this went out the door, but herbs like that are tonics. That's the word I was looking for. Has been able to help me with urinary incontinence. Urologist. This makes me sick. MSA is a type of ataxia. You don't have to tell me what type it is. This is systemic acidosis. Period. You can call it whatever. There's only 2 sides of chemistry, and chemistry rules every single thing that exists. Nothing here doesn't have chemistry involved in it. It's impossible. What distinguishes it from other ataxias? MS progresses very rapid. Doesn't matter what that is. Currently, I take Dr. Morse's tinctures of thyroid, adrenals, and brain. I'm wondering if Dr. Morse can help, if any way. Yeah, Annie, honey, much more aggression. Now listen, I'm going to call you. All right. I'd call you right now and I'll show you guys how I do it, but I don't know if that would be appreciated or not. I'll show you just how I do when I call somebody like this and what we tell them. I don't know if you would appreciate anything like that or whether the person would like that or not. Okay, so this is Gary Wegner. My father was on all the herbal formulas kit weeks, 1 and 2, including upper circulation and brain and nerve and adrenals. He was doing very well and feeling happy. He brought all the herbs to show Dr. Bruce Moskowitz, this medical doctor, on his next follow-up appointment this month. The Dr. Moskowitz, whatever, told my father, yes, I'm familiar with Dr. Morse and that he has been seen these herbs cause liver disease and that the herbs are interfering with father's current pharmaceutical medication of dopamine pills, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I love medical doctors that give opinions when they don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. I love that one. Well, my friend, let me tell you, all we've done is fix liver problems. We've never created them, we fix them. I have never failed to fix liver problems that I know of. We have everything from simple hepatitis A's and B's to cirrhosis to you name it. To all the cancers, you name it. The liver's a great regenerative organ. But, you know, when you get a medical doctor that says crap like this, he was very artful in his taste, but you're going to someone in another modality asking about someone in another modality. And medical doctors don't have the love thing going on and the spiritual thing going on. Some of them do. So they're going to tear down other people's stuff. I tear down other people's stuff when it's warranted, but when it's not true, I'm not going to tell you something that's not true. That's slander. That's not appropriate. And he kind of slandered us there because this is fictional. Totally what he's talking about is fictional. And he, you know, to use the word disease, causes liver disease. I mean, this guy is fictional. Father's also, and look how good your father felt. This is the problem. Been better off had you never went to the medical doctor. Because he just had to take you right back to where you were. Oh, you got to go back on our program even though you felt like shit and you were dying. You need to go back. You know, the idiocy of that type of thinking. If this guy was a true practitioner, he'd go, oh, he's feeling better, huh? Let me take a look at this. Let me see what he's doing, why he's doing it, so I can learn too. No, we have a narcissistic bastard here that says, oh, I'm familiar with those. They cause liver problems. Right. These people make me sick. That's why I go after them half the time. Because you have no idea. I've been almost 45 years in this field, and they've been calling me all kinds of names all these years. And after a while, you had enough of it. Because no one out-cures us. No one can out-cure you guys. You guys know how to make people well, and no one in this world can keep up with you. You guys know more about how to cure people than any other group, any other doctor out there. I don't care if it's Dr. Wild, Dr. Deepak, those guys, they're in the wrong fields too. I like Deepak's spirituality, but, you know, they're just touching the health stuff. This is serious stuff. And if someone doesn't believe it, then I don't know what to tell you. This is serious stuff. People's lives are in hellville. And for a medical doctor to say that when the person is in hellville and not getting any better under their program is an idiot. Plain and simple. And shouldn't be practicing as a healthcare practitioner because they'll just end up killing their people. And your dad is feeling so much better. Don't ever let anybody interfere with what you know to be true. Because when that happens, then it takes you off your game, and then they win. Of course, they win a round trip back here. That's what they win. And a lot of you guys are spiritual beings. You don't want a round trip ticket back to this level. Unless you like it here. Father is also taking permanent prescription of antivirals and Simvastian, or however you pronounce that one. All I have to say is that be careful with the antivirals. They just had a special on TV last night showing them that they kill. Even as simple as Lamisil has been killing people. Lamisil, an antiviral, or fungal, antifungal. You got to be real careful with these. I think my father can't button his shirt or pants due to possible statin-induced Parkinson's. Ah! And this medical doctor wants to tell you that? You know, I don't take this stuff lightly. I'd rather have someone call me a quack than a medical doctor say stupid crap like that. I mean, this is just, your dad's got to find his own way and get away from this. My God, nobody, even Deepak and Dr. Wild doesn't believe in statins. Nobody believes in statins anymore because they don't work. Matter of fact, they've got a new drug out now that replaces statins. Supposedly doesn't have the side effects. And the medical doctor on Fox News said, well, basically statins don't work, basically, you know. And it's like, oh, really, huh? Well, there was an article written in the Wall Street Journal by Deepak Chopra, Dr. Wild, 2 other medical doctors saying the very same thing. They don't work. And yet here's a guy with a statin-induced Parkinson's. So what? The pharmaceutical company made a lot of money off your dad already. Now he's got Parkinson's. Now it won't be long. They'll take him out. And you see what's going on here? It's a dark, dark time on this planet. Thank God you guys are the light. Thank God. And it's a pleasure to always work with those of you that are the light. Because there's so much darkness in this world right now, guys. And it's not going to get any better unless you help us all work together and bring this up. You're going to find yourself probably a little light bulb in the darkness. You know, you might be the only one in your town that knows the truth. Don't let that stop you. Be the spiritual dude or gal. Know who you know and answer to. You don't answer to your fellow man. You answer to a higher level. And you're here to help. So generally, you're put into areas where there is no light because you are the light. Accept that. And use that to give that light and love to others. Health is simple. You don't have to be an educated person to know how to get healthy. And that's what we're here to prove. You can use education for something else. Oh my God. Do you think statins cause Parkinson's by lowering the protective benefits of cholesterol? And why does this Dr. Bruce Moskowitz internist say the herbs are bad? Because he doesn't know any better. And his ego has got him. So it makes him look better to tear down others. There's a time and a place for that. But you got to speak it in the bowels of truth. He speaks not truth here whatsoever. So, I mean, we've used these herbs. I have for 30-some years by the gallons. And our reputation is, I think, pretty well established worldwide now. And so when you hear stuff like this, it makes me sick that there's still medical doctors out there willing to lie to their patients just to keep them on their pharmaceuticals. It just makes me sick, especially when they don't see anything but think people getting worse. It just makes me sick that there's still that level of consciousness. But again, this planet is kind of like that. Oh my God. He also told my father to stay on statins because before statins, all of his patients were dropping like flies from heart. This guy's full of crap. This guy's a liar. Let me tell you something. This guy's a king-size liar. Because statins does not, and this was even on the news the other night, statins do not stop you from heart attacks or strokes. They only stop the liver from producing it. Look at the action of a statin. It's to stop the liver's production. It's to control the liver. That's why they cause liver damage. Because they affect the liver's production of cholesterol. No. They don't stop the plaquing or why the body uses it. They don't even, I mean, there are some pharmaceutical companies that have to know, but of course they don't want you to know because that'd be the end of their statins. So it's just this idiocy and this killing machine that's out there that can't seem to wake up from itself. And if we don't wake up, it's just going to kill us all. And that's why you all have to wake up from this sort of thing. The medical doctor also recommended flaxseed oil. Oh, he did touch in the natural a little bit. Little flaxseed oil here. That's cute. For extreme dry eyes, post-detached retina. Your dad's in trouble. And you've got to get him away from this guy here, because this guy don't know how to fix anybody. This is a dangerous medical doctor. Anyway, if he's got dry eyes, that's extreme. That's extreme acidosis. And that, of course, is why the detached retina. Or MACD, it could be either one. This is why these. When you look at them as diseases, then you don't know. You can't see outside of that world. And you think all these are diseases and diseases causes all this. So you're locked in ignorance. when you break that conundrum of diseases and realize there's cause and effect for literally every single thing. Chemistry and physics rules life. Call that quackery if you want, but it's truth. And if you don't get and understand that, then how do you understand to get people well? You live in the world of phantom diseases that has no reality or truth. They don't even make sense half the time. So this is real important. Your dad's in trouble with a detached retina. I don't like that at all. So man, I'm full bore here thinking. And I'm going after parathyroid glands. I'm going after upper circuit brain and nerve. I'm going into here. I'm going after that Parkinson's syndrome. I'm going after this. I'm going to clean the cerebellum. I'm going to get this guy cleaned up. Why the cholesterol in the first place? He can't even answer that. This medical doctor can't even answer why cholesterol is up. It's a bad cholesterol. There's no such thing as bad cholesterol. There are two different types, high and low density lipids. So he doesn't even know. It was all acidosis in the beginning. So your dad has had high cholesterol because of his kidneys and adrenals all along here, and the next thing you're going to see fails his kidneys. He's probably already in a certain amount of kidney failure now. He sure hasn't been filtering, that's why the cholesterol problems. And of course the adrenals are down, that's why the cholesterol instead of steroids. So this is something your dad has to fix up, real important here. See how your dad was doing so good? Until you listen to some jerk who has no clue, who only suits himself, things like that. He was artful doing that, I'll say that. So what is going on and how do we comfort and challenge this MD? You don't, you get away from him. Because he's a jerk, he's a liar. So your dad wants to save his life, learn how to do this. Your dad was doing perfectly well on the herbs and perfectly well on the diet, and that's how you save your life. You want to use the circulation formulas, upper and lower, because your dad is probably in deep trouble with that. Just the fact he needs statins tells me he's probably occluded already pretty bad. So get a picture of your eyes, take a look for the cholesterol ring and stuff like that. Also yields cataracts, by the way, and also, of course, MACD or detached retina, it doesn't matter. Dry eyes, extreme acidosis, not good. You start damaging the optic nerves and stuff, not good. He has shattered my father's focus on the herbs. You see what I'm saying? So guess what this medical doctor just did? This medical doctor just got himself a whole heap of bad karma. And that soul now will end up going through the same thing your dad is. One of these lifetimes going to have the same thing. That's how the world runs. If you don't believe me, look around, ask the spiritual people. This is how the world runs. Cause and effect. Jesus said it, Buddha said it, all the spiritual giants said it. If you weren't a spiritual giant and you didn't say that, you were a spiritual giant, because that's the teachings of all spiritual leaders, is that cause and effect. Your actions create equal and opposite reactions. That's why you learn to give love instead of hate, because you're going to get it right back. You start to see why things were written the way they were written. He was on the right. Let your dad view this video. And Dad, you need to get away from that medical doctor and take your life in your own hands, because with all that's going on here with you, you have to be careful of strokes and heart attacks, bro. You got to be careful of strokes and a heart attack. You're already set up for this. You got dry eyes, so you're set up for a stroke big time. With cholesterol problems, big time. So you got to protect yourself, and I protect myself with the circulation formulas. Get on your where you were feeling good and better. If not, you're going to listen to this. Jack, the guy doesn't know nothing, and he'll take you to your grave. And next. I mean, this is the kind of unawareness these people have. He was on the right road until this doctor scared him away from taking these herbs due to the liver damage, etc. And herbs entering. You know what? What's the kicker with this guy? It's possible. Get your dad's blood work. It's possible your dad already has liver damage from the statins. And he's trying to make you think it's from the herbs. These guys are real winners. And you don't know what this guy has done to your dad, because most people don't look at blood work. They don't know how to read them. And that's the one thing we teach you in our schools, is how to read blood work. We want you savvy on how to protect yourself. because this guy is going to kill your dad if you're not careful, because he doesn't know the first thing about health or what his pharmaceuticals are doing to him. And yet there's other much higher level medical doctors that are in agreement with us. So I would really rethink that if I was your dad and go with what feels good and what makes sense. I find this absolutely disgusting and satanic. This doctor, lying to my father? Yeah, me too, Gary. And I'll tell you, I've lived with this for 45 years now. Seen this over and over and over. You can understand, I get a little warped after a while. Try not to get off my spiritual seat, but sometimes, it just makes you want to go to war because it hurting so many people. It's just lie after lie after lie. And these kind of lies are deadly lies. It's not like a little lie doesn't hurt anybody. These are deadly lies. And it's your father. So I don't know. All I can say is this is a real dark world right now, and you guys are the light. Just know this. You guys are the light. You're beautiful souls. I'm helping you as much as I can. I'm giving you everything I can. So you guys help too. All of us helping together will change this world to a much beautiful place. It's pretty now, but just the levels of consciousness visiting it, not so good. Oh my God. Trichotillomania. Whew. I'm an old country boy. I never was good with all these words. So you can call me a quack if I can't pronounce long words. I don't care. I never was good at English. When you're a country boy in Indiana, you don't walk into the English class. You don't walk into typing. You don't walk into French. That's just stuff you didn't do. I'm a science major. I love science, straight A's. Math, straight A's. But when I got up into algebra, I was a drafting major too. I was going to be an architect. And I got up, I had to go to the military, so they put me in drafting. I was a draftsman for an Air Force base. They didn't have any, and they needed a draftsman real bad. Thank you, God, or I was off to Vietnam. So they put me on the base, Bacala Air Force Base in Columbus, Indiana. They needed a draftsman. There was no draftsman in the engineering department and everything. I made maps. I drew the barracks. We had new barracks and all kinds of neat things. I had a lot of fun doing that. But then at a certain level of math, I was turned off by trigonometry and calculus and stuff like that, because I'm thinking to myself, when am I ever going to use stuff like this? And I don't like cramming stuff in too much. Give me science, baby. Oh, Claire. Hey, Claire. I love learning new things through watching your videos. Could you talk about, I don't even know what it is. I'm going to have to look it up, honey. I don't know what the name of a lot of these things are because I don't deal, and I made it a big point not to deal with diseases and the whole concept of it, because that's the best way to get arrested. That's your best way to get arrested. Even a mother that recommends an aspirin for her baby can be fined for practicing medicine without a license. Just saying. You've got a system that's like no other. It's a killing machine. You just saw one witness right here. Poor dad feeling good. A dad that's in big time trouble. A dad that could have a stroke or a heart attack at any time. This complete dumbass medical doctor trying to shift things away from us. Go back on the statins, which, to be honest with you, no. I don't think there's a lot of medical doctors believe in statins anymore, guys. So here's one that obviously does, even though, this guy, I don't know what to say. All I've got to say is that protect yourselves. Educate yourselves as much as you can. You got to follow with what makes sense. And I say educate yourself. The problem with education is that most of it's tainted. You've got this opinion, this theory, that hypothesis. You can't live on life on theories and hypotheses, but that's what we're doing. That's well over 1.5 million people get killed every year medically from hypotheses and theories. And none of them hold any water. When you understand the truth, then everyone can get their remedy. There'll be a few that just can't make it. There's a few that's meant to pass. It's just the way it is. We're all going to pass one day from this level. Thank you. Let's be quicker than shorter. This is a very claustrophobic level, guys. Now, let's see here. This is from Bradley. Thank you for all your help and love for humanity. You're with. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I love you guys. Are so positive. You know, we keep ourselves positive because there's just so much negative out there. But we want to always keep positive because we'll ride over the negative people because we hold the mantle of truth, guys. You hold the golden sword of truth, and nothing can get around it. It is. Truth is truth. You can deny it. You can stare it in the face and deny it, but it'll love you all the time. Truth is always truth. Learn it. This world doesn't know what truth is half the time. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. I am looking forward to seeing you at Florida soon for level 2. Yeah! No, first week in November. I had to change it because we want Micah to come. He's our, Micah the shaman crystal man. He was just here. Hope he's back home in Arkansas doing well. And I gave your crystal a nice place. My gardens need to have a little bit of crystal life around there. I call them gardens, but we have a lot of spiritual beings walking around. A lot of I have a guy that works there, helps me, and he always sees things. I love that. Is that a little funny? They mess with him too. They mess with him a little bit too. Will you please look at this short video or short article by Dr. John something and respond to it? He is an Ayurvedic doctor, and I have agreed with him on many things in the past, but this article seems crazy. He goes into how fruit will make you fat, hurt the liver, make a blood coagulate, and many more things. You know, it's sick, isn't it? It's sick that you have someone like this. But when I had a clinic in Lisbon, Portugal, I was probably there about 2, maybe 3 times for 1 year or so, but, over the span of 2 or 3 years, I was there for several symposiums, and it's funny. You got the top Ayurvedists, you got the top macrobiologists, and they just didn't look overly well, particularly the macrobiologists. They just didn't look well. Everything they have is cooked. They just really didn't look well and healthy. And I don't know what to say about it. For someone to degrade fruit, this sounds like he's just reading this from someplace else, because I've used fruit in my practice for 45 years, and I've had healings like no other. So when you hear crap like this, it makes you want to throw up, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I see this all the time in these different healers in these different systems, like the Indian system, the Ayurvedic, or the traditional Chinese medicine, and those sort of things. Now, I suppose, we just have such a world of so low consciousness that it's constantly the blame game, I guess. But for anybody to think fruits are bad for you, just as ignorant. I don't know what else to say about it, ignorant. Because without fruits, this is the gift of the gods, and it is about the fruit. We are frugivores. And if you say that about fruit, then every primate I know of is going to be dead, at least the orangutans and those primates that are in their proper places. Wow, raining real hard out there. So to have someone from a respected Ayurvedic saying something like that with fruit, doesn't know his butt from a hole in the ground. So sorry about that, honey. But you're right on. When you have someone like that, I respect some people when they start getting bizarre like that. I'm like you. It's like, whoa, wait a minute here. That means a lot of primates are going to be heart attacks, strokes, and dead from eating fruit. I mean, it's idiocy thinking. It's idiocy. I don't know where these people come from or where this information comes from. Most of you already know better than that. So it was just, I don't know where this comes from. I heard your response to Dr. Merkel, or some such name, that said fruit was the same as HFCS, but this seems like a different argument. Also, I'm going in for a PET scan June 19th. Yeah, that's coming up real quick. To see if my pelvic tumor, possible liposarcoma, has reduced in size, 7 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 6 centimeters. In left foramen extending into the left of the space, this info from a MRI, as I have been fasting with water, dry, and fruit. Thank you for the time and consideration of my request. You know what? I don't even have to look at it. I don't want to waste my time. If he's sitting there saying that fruit is bad for you, I can just tell you that this guy is not a very aware soul. And I don't know what to say. This is why practitioners of these arts are not very successful. Well, we just had a power go off, and I hope it didn't ruin our video here, because that would, we've already done a lot of it. I would hate to see that ruin our video. But honey, I don't have to see this guy's video. I don't waste my time and put other people in my consciousness. I don't have to read anybody's stuff anymore. I made our own way. I was sent here to do this. I make our own way. We already know everything we need to know. At least from that point of view. We could sure learn a lot more about the lymph system and all this, but notice how the discoveries are coming faster and faster about that system. So it's real exciting, and you guys will be right there with full-bore knowledge of the whole thing, and you'll understand the system, even though they're just getting pieces and just now starting to figure how some of it kind of works, but you guys already know it. And that's what puts you guys ahead of the pack. Because these people that talk about bad fruits and stuff like this just make me sick. And of course, they're going to be the back of the pack of the healers. You guys are going to make better healers than the ones you're going to. I love that. Because we need a change of the level of healing on this planet. Do you not agree? There's people been suffering for years. I mean, look at the YouTubers that we've already helped. They've been suffering and bedridden for years that are no longer bedridden. Fruits must be bad for you because got you out of bed and make you better. I don't know, it's just an idiocy out there. I just can't believe it's coming from healthcare practitioners, because these are Ayurvedic medicine. That's healthcare. That's herbal. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's sad stuff, but don't let them take it off your game. You walk your walk, and that's why I did the video the other day about being strong with what you know. And the best way I can tell you is do it on yourself and start helping others. And then there's no one can tell you nothing, because you already have the proof. You've been there, you've done it. And that's what I say. Try it on yourself. If you don't believe us, try it on yourself. You tried everything else. Try this on you. This is like strapping yourself on a Brahma. But there are level of healings on this planet, and it seems like most of them are on the low side. You guys are the beautiful golden children, you young ones. Your older ones, you're waking up. This could be your last journey on this level if you learn how to take that shortcut. You learn how to stop creating things. You learn how to get your life in order. Enjoy every moment for the moment. Get your body healthy. This is all simple stuff. People just love to cut down simple stuff for the intellectual. The mind has a hard time dying, and you can see the mind is going to put up a major war against consciousness. That's its nature. So you're going to see the blowback against yourself. Pick doctors that will tell you, no, those herbs cause liver damage. Here, use my pharmaceuticals that are already killing you, but here, keep taking them. That kind of crap. Unbelievable. That's what I said about we're so dumbed down as humans, we buy into that. Your dad bought into that doctor. He was feeling better and every good, but he bought into that doctor. So he was dumbed down. He let that medical doctor dumb him down and said, you know what, Doc, I'm feeling much better on these, though. I don't feel good on your program. I'm feeling much better on this. Can you explain that? And by the way, if you go long enough, I can change his whole stats around to where he's going to look at his stats going, well, wait a minute, his stuff causes liver damage, but I don't see anything. If you really want to put something in his face, get your dad back on there and let's clean him up and show him the blood work after that. All right, this is a good one. Here's a good one. This is a good one. This is from Jessica. I love the first thing she says here. Could you please discuss how to prevent birth defects? Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, sweetheart. What do you think causes birth defects? What diet should someone follow if they are pregnant? What herbs or supplements would you suggest? I think this is an excellent question, although we have definitely talked about this quite a bit. You know, when you look at this, different species have different ways of procreating themselves. Some have eggs, some have live births. Well, of course, we're ones with the live births. So when you look at how reproduction is done, everything is done via cells. Sperm and egg, blah, 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 the one parent cell, that cell starting to divide, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know within that parent cell is all the consciousness, all the DNA, chromosomes, all the memory patterns, everything in there, because it's got its organs tied to the emotional body, causal body, mental bodies. Everything here does. You can't be here physically without having a mind, emotions. You can't be here physically. They might not be in the best of shape, but you can't be here without them. You can't just be soul and then have a physical body because you'd explode it. Your magnificence, your light, that is you, must be dumbed down to be able to play at this very inert, mundane level, or you can burn your body right up. So you have to be stepped down, and each body you take on steps you down to get here at this very chemical level. So with the cells, so with the plants, so with everything. You can't have a car unless it's first created in the mental worlds. We have our factories here that make them and everything else, but they're first created in the mental worlds. Remember, you can't experience anything you can't envision. So these are all created first in the mental worlds. That's why when you travel in these worlds, you get to see what's going to happen here before it does. Because it first takes place in the causal world. That's where thoughts are, that's where duality first starts. Of course, for you Buddhists and Hindus, that's Brahm, Vishnu, Shiva. That's your duality. That's your positive and negative forces. When you leave that world, you're in the Buddhist bliss plane, which is the cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness. That's just pure mind. It just keeps going. I mean, I can't even discuss the beauty of it. It's just, you can't discuss those things hardly. But when you augment the cycles of energy away from where they should be, then you start augmenting the shape or the design. And you augment it also in the world of chemistry. So all these birth defects are all genetics and genetic weaknesses. So to give you an example, let's say you're in a family, you got mom and dad, you got an older brother, a younger sister, and you're in the middle. You know that when your dad gets with your mom, you've got both genetic factors from both trees coming in and being donors. This sets up the condition of the cells, because however creation works that out, to which genetics wins. And that's all tied to the particular soul coming to that body and the experiences it needs to learn. So you'll see the type of genetics that gives you that experience. It's all tied like this, like the wheels of a clock. God's that precise. So all cells are genetics. These are all genetic weaknesses. If you want to stop this, then you have to go to the cell and make it healthy again. You have to pull that warped energy back into the mainstream. Because if you look at it from the mind worlds, it is playing with augmented energy that is not cyclic, not in harmony with truth. You're eating foods that are not in harmony with the physical body, which is in harmony with the emotional body and the mental bodies. So anytime you have thoughts or emotions or foods that are out of harmony with your species, then it starts to augment your expression. And in the physical world, this is very chemical. And of course, then it mutates the chemistry of the cell, therefore mutating the emotional and mental side. Then look at the same thing in your own world, where when you're not eating right, you can get your emotions down to hellville. You get emotional everything, you get anxieties everything, you're bringing your adrenals down, therefore it has a kickback into the emotional world. And the same thing in the mental worlds as well. So whatever happens here has the blowback there, because we're all one, all infused, working together. Even though these are different levels, they're interlaced. Good question. And you have to realize that every cell in your body is a genetic cell. Is it a strong or weak cell genetically? And that you can see in your eyes. That's the beauty of iridology, because you can get your eyes of your pictures and your families and your children, and you can see the weaknesses as they're progressing down the line. And progressing they are, because why? No one, except for you guys and a few other ones, of course, that are not on the YouTubes, they're learning the secret of truth. And therefore, they're reversing and rebuilding their cell patterns. Therefore, the blow back to the emotional world is stronger and the mind is quieting. So, we're addressing the emotional mental bodies through the physical body. But you know, a lot of us are working with you guys on these other levels as well. But I felt that it's easier to come in the back door here, right where people need it the most, to open them up spiritually, because the average person is just can't get out of their thoughts. They can't stop the train that's rolling down the track that our educational system didn't understand. You can't just teach mind without the balance of spirituality, because now we have a whole world of, like this medical doctor, narcissism and elitism. So we're always better and you're nothing. And it's just everywhere. Clintons have got it. All these people have got it. The sad thing, it locks these souls in these worlds for eons. But it also makes for everyone else's lives miserable, because these are miserable souls. No, I don't know. It's enough to say, if you want to fix, and this is true, I take it you're going to be a mother, or you want to be, and all I can say is you get your body healthy. And in that is the regeneration of genetic weaknesses. You can see them in the eyes. And regeneration of genetic weakness is the ticket for you young guys and gals. This is a vitalness so you can have a good life, because nobody was planted. This is creation. And it was just moving as it's moving. We had to be sent in here to bring in to bring in some Zen stuff, to wake some things up. If not, it goes on its cyclic way. But it's in its wave of destruction now. We're infusing it with light, because there are many souls it's time to leave. And they have to be able to see the light to understand, oh, look, it's time for me to go here. And that's what a lot of you guys are here for. And there's a lot of spiritual beings here doing the same thing. Room's got plenty in it right now. Didn't think I saw you guys. This is, let me see here. I can't see who this is. Subject. Could you please discuss how to prevent... Oh, this is about Ataxia. Yeah. Okay. That's how you usually go after the health of the cell. Well, what brings down, what degrades the health of the cell? Acids. And we're back to that again. We're back to acids, back to the lymph system. We're back to that system. But if you look at the types of foods we've been eating, they're not in harmony with the physiology of the human body. Like this guy says, don't eat fruits. Well, what does he think that, the human body is designed after? Horses? Elephants? Dogs? Omnivores? Dogs, hogs, chickens, and bears? I don't see any of you guys look like dogs, hogs, chickens, and bears, or horses, or elephants, or things like that. Very simplistic, but very true. All right. Good deal. Teresa. All right, Teresa. My 20-year-old daughter has had serious food allergies since birth. What system is allergies in? Blood, lymph. You got it. It's a lymph system. Always. Always. And the more backed up your lymph system is, the more inflammation in the body, the more allergic to different proteins you'll get. It can be peanut proteins and dairy proteins, it doesn't matter. Gluten proteins, it doesn't matter. We have pursued natural health solutions and spent thousands of dollars. Our environment's allergies have greatly improved, but food allergies continue to be a devastating challenge. She's even unable to eat the basic fruits you recommend. I am putting her on an adrenal and lymph. Can true food allergies be reversed? Absolutely. Now here's the thing. You want the adrenals, but you want the kidneys. You want 2 kidneys and 1 lymphatic at first. Sounds like her lymph system's a mess. So you hit that lymphatic system, and I'd say lymphatic 1 capsules. Stomach and bowel 1 capsules if she poops every day. You're going to go with the kidney 1 capsules, a kidney 2 tincture. What else we got going on here? I'd clean up my bowels for sure. I would get the GI broom, and you got the stomach and bowel number 1 or 2, whichever you want. That'll help clean them up really well. You might have to start with salads and greens because they're less drawing, less astringent. So you might start out with the raw salads and green drinks to get her down a certain way with the herbs. And at a certain point, you'll be able to interject a little more fruit, say applesauce, homemade applesauce with cinnamon, things like this, and keep interjecting a little more and a little more. And then you'll have her. Also, from infancy, doctors predicted she would be very tall based on length of fingers and feet. She is just under 5'6". Her hands and feet look like very prolonged to another body. Could pituitary be the problem? Boy, I love you guys. You guys are so smart. Absolutely, sweetheart. I would definitely be looking at her pituitary gland. Doesn't mean she has to have excessive height or nothing, but it could make longer hands, fingers, things like that. I would say this. I'd make the whole body healthy, which would then impart the endocrine glands and just make everything healthy. Get rid of all the acid and the mucus and the inflammation and all this out of the body, and everything will go back. Rebuild the body, which rebuilds the body, it rebuilds itself. When I say rebuild the body, you don't have to think about that. The body rebuilds itself. How beautiful. Just feed it right. Oh, but wait a minute. Our food isn't good for us anymore. Fruits. He must be buying fruits somewhere out back of northern Alaska or something. I would say pituitary quite well. And keep in mind, she's probably very congested in the sinuses and everything else, so she needs to drain all this out of there. Get a picture of her eyes and look right there at 12 o'clock on both sides at 12 o'clock, right and left eye. I have heard you discuss your gray hair and not taking the time to treat yourself. I lost several brilliant natural health care providers because the work very long hours. I know. I tell you what. I know. I'm working, but I know exactly. I have burnt the midnight candle like nobody's business. It's just I got iris analysis and 14-week protocols on top of this, on top of some clients. So I stay pretty dang busy. Then I've got the school, and I've got so many things going. We want to get these other projects going. I want to get this association going. We got the Artie and the Costa Rican project. We've got another project with schools going online. We got lots of these cool projects that I'm excited about, But you're right. We tend to work our ass in the ground. Dr. Jensen did. Poor guy. I looked at him and I said, Doc, I'm not going to end up like you, am I? And he ended up just like my dad. All workaholics. He died at 93. Of course, Jensen didn't die happy, but he's still working toward the very end. I think I took him to Portugal probably when he was 80. So, I don't know. Can't work all your life, I know it. Please don't do that. Thanks, sweetheart, for thinking that. Thanks, Teresa. Remember on airline flights, they tell care guy, oh, I love you, honey. Thanks. Thank you. Good soul. Thank you. And get this, your daughter's lymph system cleaned up. Now, she's 20 years old, so you know she's going to have kidney and adrenals. I mean, that's just what we see here constantly. And all the 20 and below year olds, 30 and below, you can count on kidney and adrenals big time. And then the lymphatics and the allergies and the skin. All of this is all tied together. Clean up all of that, and you're good. And you're good. Thanks for that, my dear one. Love you too. Julia. Hi, Robert. Hi, sweetheart. I was just wondering if you know any cure treatment for visual snow. Visual snow. Interesting. I know it has been mentioned in one of your videos, but I can't seem to find the video where you talk about it. It would be great to hear back from you. Well, keep in mind that you can see floaters and all types of things one of two ways. You've got a fluid here that is a lipid fluid that can get lymphatic. You get mucus in your eyes and floaters in your eyes of mucus and stuff like that. You can get your spots. You know, when you get back here and inflammation and acids building up in the cerebellum, boy, you can get your spots. You can see stars, moons. You can see all kinds of things. When you start affecting nerve synapses and everything else, whew, you know, it's all a big deal. I would use an eye wash. I love our eye wash. I would use the eye wash twice a day, AM and PM. All you need is a little eye cup. We sell them. They used to be glass, now they're plastic, but little eye cups, or you can get them I'm sure you can get them at pharmacies. They're only a few bucks, and get the eye wash will last you forever. But work yourself up to about 10 to 12 drops, click, 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 in some skin temperature water, and just wash your eyes well. Open your eyes and wash them real good. Do that twice a day for a while. Now, you might wake up with some matted eyes and mucus in your eyes and stuff like that, but that's because it's pulling. It's for blood and lymph improvement in the eye. At the same time, I want to drain. I want to get my neurolymphatics going. I want to get my lymph system draining out of the head, my sinuses drained, all of this. Very important. Get my bowels cleaned up to help that. Get your kidneys and your adrenal glands up working. All of that to take care of this, because man, you want to be real careful, because you don't know whether it's just mucus from being too congested, or you're seeing some spots from inflammation, or an involvement in nerve transmission. All these things. I mean, there's so many things. So many things. But detoxification fixes it all, because detoxification cleans and starts the rebuilding process. So if it's just congested and mucus and stuff, that'll come out. If you're actually having nerve impulse problems, you got to watch that. You know, again, upper circuit brain and nerve are good in those kind of things. If you have MACD, wet or dry, you have detached retinas, holy crap. You know, first of all, that's just what all acidosis brings, glaucomic pressures and stuff. Get your lymph moving, hit the parathyroid, start getting with the bones formula, try to get things to start growing back, things to reattach, or at least to grow and make new again. And it's only going to happen under a base sky. It's not going to happen under an acid sky. Acids deteriorate and break down the body. So fix that side of chemistry, which is the lymph system, and you're well on your way to Wellville. It sounds so simple. It's hard for the intellectuals to digest this. I understand that, but I'm also a science freak. I also am an intellectual in science, not in other things that I don't care about, because I don't care about it. Who cares? Listen, I travel in places where there's so many languages, I don't even know sometimes. I mean, the worlds are vast. So wasting with one little language here, I don't know. You know, it's just, the worlds are vast, my friends. Let me see. Yeah, I don't remember which video it either. But thanks so much for that. But want to clean the eyes and get the mucus out and stuff. And then we get mucus floaters, like I said, and then all kinds of stuff like that. I got time for a couple. Well, I only have time for one more. I'm sorry, but oh man, I'm going to come in and I'm going to try to. Oh, there's so many great things. Killing cancer with oxygen and ketogenic diet. Very aware of that. I tell you what, guys, I got so much here. I just keep going. I don't know what to tell you. I love all your questions. But if you want us to have help in answering these, like I say, we have some YouTubers that have had quite a bit of experience now in helping others, especially with some of the advanced cases, that if you want, we can have them help here. Let me see here. This is Joseph. Hey, Joseph. Message. Is it okay to eat non-organic fruit like grapes and others? It is. Because there's nothing you can do. Although, let me tell you, I was at Walmart this morning because it's where I can buy my big navels. Publix didn't have them. Walmart had them. But guess what else Walmart had? A whole bunch of organic grapes. And boy, did I buy a bunch. Organic grapes at Walmart. Well, they have them every once in a while. Certified organic. It's like, yeah, So, to get a veggie wash, my friend Joseph, and wash everything anyway. We wash even your organic produce because they're dirty too. So just wash everything with veggie washes. That way, any chemicals come off. I have no access to organic grapes or oranges or anything like that because fruit in Kentucky sucks. Yeah, I'm familiar with Kentucky. Absolutely. I'm from next state up guy, so I know exactly what you mean. It's sad. I know it, but if you can just get some fruit and good fruit where you can and go on this, you'll love where you're going. Also, for interstitial cystitis, do you think healing more on green drinks would be a good idea because of the less acidic greens? I probably would try the green drinks at first. Use the herbs, the lymphatic herbs and the kidney herbs and the adrenals, of course, to try to get that filtration going, to pull that acid out of there. That's a key. Interstitial, of course, this is all interstitial. They're just starting to use that word more, but it's all interstitial, guys. This is the lymph system. It's all interstitial. And it burns, and it's bad because it's acids. And these are 3 pH acids at the cell level, not friendly people. And so, yeah, I can understand. I'd use marshmallow tea. You could use some mullein tea. Or 3-lung tea would be a nice one. The heal-all tea would be, too. It's got a little plantain. You might get a little drawing, but you do want a little drawing, even though you might be uncomfortable with that. A little drawing, a little astringent action on that bladder would be helpful. You know, that's all I can say. This is, you're really backed up interstitially, and you got to fix this one, or you lose your bladder. Well, you're probably already lose filtration of the kidneys. So you want to fix all this, my friend. Definitely, this is important to do. So you could do that and stay down with like apples with cinnamon. You can stay down on the subacid to the sweet fruits, like dates and figs and stuff like that, and bananas and maybe your bananas and what else here? Mangoes are pretty gentle. You know, so still gentler food like that. See if you're a watermelon. Watermelon's pretty aggressive, though. I'll tell you right now, you don't think watermelon's aggressive, but it could hurt on interstitial cystitis. Maybe not honeydew, but papaya would also should be good. Things like that to also have some cleansing effect, some healing effect, some acid effect, and then some kidney filtration effect. So keep working. Your head is good here, Joseph. Your head is good. I like what you're thinking. I know my friend Sunny Morrow healed her IC just on green drinks, and so did some of her followers. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I think you can too. But if you really want to get into some deeper lymph drainage and stuff, the fruits are always going to be the best way to go. Like if you had some tumors, your vegetables are only going to go so far. Your green drink's only so far. I've worked with tumors most of my life. So, you know, I see these things. And so, enough to say that, work with the green drinks. I'd probably stay away from the salads because you're trying to still get detoxification going because you still want to get the kidneys to filter, the adrenals up, you want to get the bowels cleaned up because remember there's a feed from the rectal area and the sigmoid area, there's a feed into the bladder. So, you know, you need to clean up the bowels too. So all that getting cleaned up, you'll be good. You'll be good. I mean, it's not a difficult thing to heal, but boy, it can be very uncomfortable and painful. That's acids are. So thanks for bearing with us here. I hope we have the whole tape here because the power just went out, so I hope we have the whole tape. But I love you guys, and thanks for listening to us quacks. But let me tell you, you guys are doing great. I love every one of you. You're getting it. And there's no perfect. I mean, we can hold and fold and move, green drinks when you have to, fruit when we have to. Who cares? It's all fun because we're all working for the same thing. We all are working together to be healthy. It's just that we're discarding the things that haven't worked and that people keep hashing up over and over and over again. That's the mind. And I'm here to eliminate those things because they're all hashed stuff that doesn't work and too many people are falling into these things and hurting themselves. We need to stop that. It's a new age, a new time. We need to breathe more. We need to stop the mind from overthinking so much now. Enjoy our spirituality in the now. Enjoy every moment for the moment. Your moments will be better and you'll be happier because you're in control. You're in the driver's seat, not your mind or your emotions, or not the medical doctors out there that don't know their butt from a hole in the ground saying that our herbs causes liver stuff. That's funny. We use them for liver stuff and always win. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you always see out there, and sometimes it gets hurtful. Other times it's just same old crap. Same old day, or the same old crap, just another day, right? And don't fall into this, because it's your life, and most of you have already went that way. Know already it's all a bunch of crap. Learn the truth. Be the truth, and give the light to all of the people you love. Always put your hand out and help somebody. It's fun to do it. It's fun to see people feel good again. Another friend you made. Another lifetime friend you made by helping people. Love you guys. Don't forget your meditations. Remember, be in the now. Allow yourselves to have an outside body experience. They're fun.